All right, organization and flow. So, what we frequently see in the writing when someone is struggling, when it's a challenge to organize their writing and make sure it flows, is there's a lack of external and internal writing structure, and or there's unclear connections between ideas at the paragraph and sentence level. So that paragraph unity is lacking, and that interrupts the flow of the writing. And so, obviously, a well organized paper, I think we all kind of have something in mind in terms of what that looks like. But it's important to think about these different features. There are predictable writing patterns that you can follow. And I think a lot of people forget that. They just want to start writing from top to bottom without really thinking about a structure or a pattern that they can use in their writing. And a well organized paper also is guiding the reader. So you're kind of writing with your reader in mind. It also conveys focus and intent and establishes expectations, which is really, really important. I find that we don't have time to go into it this evening, but there can be a real disconnect between the writer and the reader when there's poor organization and flow, because the reader, your audience, has specific expectations. And when your paper is well organized, especially when it's following these predictable patterns of writing, then you're much more likely to meet the audience's expectations. So, organizational writing patterns, these are just a few. If you're not familiar with these different writing patterns, I highly recommend taking the time to familiarize yourself with them. I truly believe it will make your life a lot easier, especially the next time you're getting writer's block and you're just really not sure how to start or how to organize your ideas. Go through and look at these writing patterns and think about the purpose of your writing and the argument that you're trying to make. Or if you're not making an argument and you're just describing a process, then obviously you can follow a process pattern. Or if you're just describing a timeline of events, you can follow a chronological pattern. But there are lots of organizational patterns in academic writing, and they're there for you to use. And so familiarize yourself with them and the purpose of these different patterns and employ them in your writing. It will make your writing flow better and it'll read better. I'm going to share this handout with you. I'm just going to click on it for a moment. So you can see these different organizational patterns in academic writing and how to identify them. It shows the purpose of the pattern and signal words. This is a handout that I will send you with a recording of the webinar. Go back to the presentation. Okay, improving flow. This goes along with organization. It's hard to have flow when the writing isn't organized. So when we're writing as academics, the writing is typically complex. We have these layered ideas, all these different relationships need to be communicated and established for the reader. And sometimes that can be, not sometimes, a lot of times it's very, very challenging. So taking the time, kind of going back to the writing process, to really plan the writing, thinking about what organizational pattern is going to work best for what I want to say, for the purpose of this writing, and then going and thinking about the internal structure of the writing and the flow of that writing. And so thinking about topic sentences is important. Creating a topic sentence outline would be a great way to kind of try to make sure that you have flow in your writing. Also using the known to new contract, which I think Veronica exposed me to that. Even though logically I understand it, but I didn't know that's what it was called. It's called known to new. I'll show you that handout in a moment. But it's where you're consistently moving from kind of old information or the previous information to new information, and you're constantly linking back in the sentences. And I'll show you what that looks like. I'm a visual person. Being intentional about the transitional phrases that you're using to indicate relationships between ideas, and then repetition. That's huge. And that also goes in with alignment, which I'll talk about in a moment, but repeating important keywords and concepts, even repeating the subjects and nouns in a sentence are different ways to improve flow. Let's take a quick look at known to new. Again, I'll give you this handout. This is by Carnegie Mellon University, and it's all about the known new contract is where you have a known idea in the beginning of the sentence, and then the next sentence links the known idea and the new idea. So you're just kind of going back from this topic to stress position. And they have examples here, which I think are really helpful, where they help you identify the stress position and then the topic position, and then put old information in the topic and new information in the stress position. And I think these examples are great. And they also have these different phrases that can help you kind of link these ideas together. So I'll definitely share that with you. And I think it's worth taking a look at if this is something that you struggle with. If you've been told that you need to improve the flow of your writing, then that could be something that helps you.